Hey Midland, it's Kris and Tom here for What's Up in the City Planning Edition. We're going to chat about the most recent City Planning Commission meeting, which happened on September 14th, 2021. How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing well. And you?
I'm doing pretty well, too. So, Tom, we're not going to discuss everything that happened in that meeting, but we are going to talk a little bit about what happened in the City Council meeting the day prior. And that was the, what would we say, the approval slash acceptance of a grant. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'd be delighted to. So, I guess it goes back to the master plan and the Department of Housing and Urban Development became aware that we were looking to do some sustainability and resiliency work in this most recent master plan. And they were also aware that we had had a significant disaster in 2020 when the dams broke and the flooding happened in the city. So they approached us and said, we have some unspent funds from other disasters that totals around $5.4 million. And would you be interested in utilizing these funds? Do you have activities that still need to be addressed in terms of recovering from the flood? And absolutely we do. And so we put together a budget which has a couple of things in it. One being some sustainability and resiliency planning, working with a firm that's yet to be determined to look at what the city can do to be more resilient and be prepared and prevent these things to the best of our abilities. There's also a program in the grant where we will match FEMA funds. There's a home purchase program of homes that were damaged or destroyed in the flood. And with that, there's a 1-to-1 replacement. So we would be able to buy up to, I think we have about 30 properties that are interested. And through that, we would be able to demolish those homes, green that space, and then work with a private developer. That would be to be determined who that would be to replace those homes somewhere else in the city. And then there's some other funding available for some of the pump stations and the sewers and some of the other stormwater management systems and doing some upgrades there.
Cool. Well, that's good. That's good news to hear that there's funding coming its way to the city of Midland, especially for the dam failure that happened back in May 2020. So anyway, but you alluded to the master plan, and I know that there's an agenda item for the next planning commission meeting, which is a master plan update. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's another exciting part of our job. It's been a lot of fun being able to engage with residents and community stakeholders of all types. And for the last few months, actually probably going back to January, we've been in what we call the Imagine It phase. And it's pretty much exactly how it sounds. Having conversations, conducting surveys, hosting events, thinking about big picture things and trying to identify themes and issues and opportunities that could be addressed in the master plan that's being developed now. So we are nearing the end of that phase, and we're getting ready to go into what we would call the Plan It phase. And this would be kind of a more granular look. So taking what we learned from the Imagine It phase, the big ideas, the big concepts, and looking at, well, what specific activities, what specific goals should we be looking at? Are there certain areas of the city that need specific types of strategies? And really just getting into the nuances of, things from improvements to neighborhoods, looking at how we can improve the livability in some neighborhoods, looking at transportation and mobility needs and possible modifications there, and then also the sustainability and resiliency. And that could be anything from how does the city maintain fiscal responsibility over the land and assets and liabilities that we hold, how do we look at the environment and from a sustainable perspective, ensure that we have the appropriate things where they need to be, and then just looking at other types of sustainability and resiliency. And there's so much more to this. We try to keep it in these 3 buckets, but it's really kind of interwoven between them. We're having conversations with, for instance, the Midland Business Alliance, who is seeing that housing is an impediment to talent and economic development. And so there's a lot of connecting points, throughout the whole plan. So we're really excited to get to this next phase, because from there we'll have really specific kind of ideas and goals that can then start to be drafted into the plan. And then pretty soon we will be in the implementation phase.
Yeah, and so the governing bodies play a full role into the master plan update, such as the Planning Commission. Are there any other bodies that play a role in the master plan update, Tom?
Yeah, so the Housing Commission has been very, very involved. Normally they just have kind of oversight over the community development block grant dollars and help to steer the senior housing, but they've wanted to expand into these other areas. So they're very involved. Also, I would say the Zoning Board of Appeals, because we're getting more and more variance requests for things that could be added to the master plan and kind of reduce the need for the variance if these things are permitted by right. And then we're also seeing just stakeholder groups that are very, very interested in this. Based on the data that we're seeing, there's a lot of kind of social clubs and others that are interested in having these conversations.
Awesome. Well, Tom, thank you so much for joining us, as always.
Happy to be here.
Hey, and as always, you can catch our meetings live on MGTV Cable Channel Charter 188 and Cable Channel UVerse 99. You can also head to our city website, cityofmidlandmi.gov, to watch them on demand. And if you have an Apple or Roku TV, you can catch them there by searching MCTV Network. As always, Midland, we thank you for watching, and we'll catch y'all later.